Today, I'm going to teach you about fat loss, okay? Simplified. So what is fat loss? Fat loss is simply the reduction of fat you have in your body. That's it. It is your body consuming fat to make up for energy that it didn't have throughout the day. That's it, okay? So, how is fat loss determined, okay? Fat loss is determined by calories in, calories out, okay? Calories in. What is calories in? Calories in is the food you consume. It is what you put in your body, okay? Calories out is your total daily energy expenditure. It is the total calories, which is an energy unit that your body uses to maintain its day, okay? To maintain throughout the day. Okay, so the simple and only equation that is important and relevant to fat loss is fat loss is equal to calories in less than calories out. That's it. Okay, if you eat less calories and you burn more calories, you are going to lose fat. Simple as that. If you have the same calories in and the same calories out, you're going to maintain. If you have more calories in and less calories out, you're going to gain fat. Okay? Simple as that. Right, so calories out, like you said, it is the total daily energy expenditure, TDEE, okay? And what is the TDEE? The TDEE is your BMR, NEAT, TEF, and exercise. Okay, so let me break it down, right? Exercise, the smallest component of your daily energy expenditure is exercise. While you think you're running cardio and you're burning so much fat, it's making a huge difference, it's not. Okay? Because exercise burns and consumes only from 5 up to 10% of your total daily calories and energy. Okay? TEF, thermic effective food. Okay? Thermic effective food is the effect, right, the energy used to digest and process the food you eat. Okay? So carbs, fats, and protein, right? However, there is a difference between each one because your fats, only 0 up to 5% of the calories in your fats are used for digestion, okay? Instead, your carbs are 5 to 15, okay? And your protein is 20 to 30% of the calories used just for digestion, okay? So let's say you eat 100 calories worth of protein, okay? Your body is going to have an 18 calorie or 70 calorie effect on your body because 20 to 30% of that was used in digestion, okay? Needs, not exercise activity, okay? It is the movements you do throughout the day for, let's say, you get up from to go take a shower, right? You sit down, you forget the remote, so you stand up and you go grab the remote, right? Cooking, right? All of these movements that aren't specifically exercise, you're not qualified to be exercise, right? You're not doing it intentionally. That is what it is. And crazily enough, it is what burns from 15 up to 25% of your total daily energy. Okay? So just by walking around a bit more, when you're on a phone call, you can walk around. When you're in your office, stand up, go take a break, go outside. Even if you don't smoke, go outside to take a smoke break, right? All of these things matter, okay? And they add up and you can burn so many more calories and lose so much more fat just by raising this up, okay? Because exercise, you can raise it, but at the same time, when you raise more exercise, you also need more energy to perform that exercise, okay? And then TF, focus on consuming more protein. That's the best way to improve your thermic effective food to the max, okay? Then we have BMR, the biggest and the most important one, which is from 50 up to 70% of the total daily energy, okay? Your BMR is basically your body's sustainment, okay? So you existing, you thinking, your heart beating, your blood circulating, you breathing, okay? Your muscle maintaining themselves, heat, all of these things, okay? So that is your BMR. And since it is your body, right, it is the maintenance of your body, obviously, it is what consumes more energy throughout the day, okay? So now let me break it down, let me break your BMR down, right? And not just, right? How you can improve your BMR and how you can lose more fat, how you can improve your calories out, right? So with exercise, you may be thinking you're going to do a bunch of cardio, you're going to run, you're going to do all these push-ups, you're going to do everything, right? And you're going to burn so much fat. Wrong. Obviously you will burn calories, right? That doesn't correlate to burning fat. Because like I said, all that matters is how you're calories out. However, there are different types of exercises, right? The two that we're talking about is cardio and weightlifting, right? Resistance training. So cardio, we can categorize those into three different categories, right? LISS, HIIT. Okay, LISS is low intensity steady state. Okay, which is cardio that you do that is not high intensity. It doesn't require your heart rate to go up much more. Okay, that is the definition of cardio. Okay, it is any exercise that makes your heart rate increase. Okay, so LISS is low intensity for your heart rate increases little. And it uses fat as a primary source of fuel. Why? Because to oxidize fat and use fat to convert it to energy, it takes so much more of your body, it's so much harder, okay? And it takes so much longer that when you're doing low intensity exercise, it just uses fat so that it can save all the carbs, all of these other easier sources for when you do, and if you need, it's for high intensity exercise, okay? Second of all, we have miss, right? Oh, sorry. An example of this is walking, right? Walking. A light swim. You're just jumping in the pool, just walking around the pool, just maybe kind of swimming a bit in the pool. And, or like a very light room, a very light cycling. You know, you're on an elliptical doing very low intensity exercise, okay? Second type of cardio, miss. Miss is a moderate state. Okay, moderate intensity steady state, right? And we can categorize that word as running. So I'm not gonna say running is super intense running, okay? I'm not gonna say a super low running, okay? Kind of a mid-term, right? So you have walking, which we can say is considered less because it's at a conversational pace, right? Miss is not a conversational pace, right? But also you can still talk, right? But you're kind of panting while you're talking, like, yeah, but you know, so it's just a bit higher intensity, right? And it mostly consumes fat and carbs. It's a mix of both. Because since it does require no more energy, it can't just resort to using fat, right? It also depends how intense you're running, right? The more intense you run, the more carbs it burns, and not the more fat it burns. But don't get me wrong, fat burn and fat loss is not the same thing. They're two different things, okay? Then we have HIIT, right? HIIT is high intensity interval training. Those are your sprints, okay? The exercises you do that elevate your heart rate so much, okay? That you're sprinting, you're running, you're giving it all, and you are gonna burn more calories in a lower amount of time because it is more intense. But, however, I do not recommend you using or doing it to lose fat. Simply because it also increases and spikes your hunger, okay? So those are the three types of cardio that you need to keep in mind. Sorry about that. Then we have the gym, weightlifting, resistance training, right? Resistance training ups your BMR, specifically what? Other than just burning calories as you're exercising, it also improves your BMR because you are sending a stimulus to your brain to grow more muscle. And when you grow more muscle, right, you have more mass to you. Therefore, when you have more mass to you, you need more maintenance, okay? And not just that, I'm going to show you a comparison between fat and muscle calorie expenditure, right? When you have muscle, right, 1 kilogram of muscle spends 13 calories a day, okay? It consumes 13 calories a day, while fat only consumes 4.5 calories a day per kilo, okay? So think about it. If you have 10 kilos of muscle rather than 10 kilos of fat, you are burning 130 calories a day just with those 10 kilos of muscle. Whereas if you have fat, you're only burning 45 calories. So look at the difference, right? When you build more muscle, you burn more calories automatically, right? So that's your BMR. And that's your calories in. That's all I explain. Now we have some extras, okay? And the extras I'm going to tell you is sleep, which is just an extra simply because it's not either calories in or calories out, okay? However, it is a huge factor because sleep is basically a regulation of your hormones, the recovery of your body. It allows your muscles to grow, okay? And I'm going to explain, I'm going to get in a bit more detail, not too much, but yeah. Basically, what happens when you are rested, when you get 7 to 9 hours of sleep, of quality sleep, your ghrelin goes down. Your ghrelin is your hunger hormone, okay? So if it goes down, your leptin goes up, which is your satiety hormone. So therefore, if you're able to stay in a state in which you're more satiated, you're not gonna feel the need to eat, and you're not gonna overeat, and you're not gonna consume more calories, okay? Then, cortisol goes down, which is your stress, okay? When you are stressed, your body is in fight or flight mode, okay? And this can lead, right, it's not mandatory, but this can lead to your body not allowing you to burn as much fat, simply because you're in a fight or flight state. Therefore, your body holds onto the fat because it's stressed out, right? It's saying, okay, what if I need it for later, right? You're in a fight or flight situation. That's it. It's survival mode. Okay? However, does not matter. If you are in a calorie deficit, you are going to lose fat independently. Okay? And last, but definitely not least, recovery. Okay? When you sleep enough, you are able to recover. And that not only allows you to perform your exercises with more energy the next day, it also allows your muscle to grow. It allows muscle to grow, right? Why? Because when you are in a deep sleep, your body enables GH, which is your growth hormone. Okay? Growth hormone. That's literally all you have to know. Okay? So, take another look at this. Screenshot it if you want to. Tell me if you have any questions. This is Fatloss Simplified.